It's time for Think Fast, the speedrunning game show of fast times and sharp minds. I am your host, Swoos.
And I'm also your host, Sparkle.
Tonight, Mystery Astro Trivia 3000. We're checking out some robots and science fiction trivia with Bdund and Exelius. I'm sure everyone knows the rules, but just to be safe, this is Think Fast, the speedrunning game show. Our contestants tonight will race for the best time in Astro Bot any percent, but with a catch. Sparkle and I can interrupt whenever we feel like to ask a trivia question, and if a runner answers right, we'll take some seconds off their final time. There's no penalty for guessing wrong, but focus too hard on answering the question and your run might suffer. For everybody watching in chat, feel free to play along. How are both of you feeling going into tonight's race?
I'm doing pretty good tonight. Feeling pretty good.
Yep, I'll say I'm as ready as I'll ever be. So we'll just see what happens.
Straight to the point. I like it.
Yeah, well, in that case, let's get started then. It is time to think fast in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Here we go. We got Astro Bot. So Astro Bot's your fun little platformer here. Gonna be about 2 hours, 2:20 about. And we're just both starting off here in the intro here. But essentially what Astro Bot is we're gonna have 5 nebulas to go across of to retrieve bots. And we're gonna have to retrieve 200 bots in total before we face the final boss. So this run has a lot of routing involved with it, and a lot of like precise jumps and strategies to get to each bot. So it'll be a fun ride. Want to add anything on top of that, Exelius?
Yeah, so the first world of every stage, you have to complete. There's no way around it. You have to go through the entire stage. The second stages, you usually always have 2 stages you can pick between. So you'll notice we'll probably complete one of them to unlock the last stage we'll have to complete, and then we may just pick up boss from the other one or just completely skip a second stage entirely. So it, like Bidu said, it just kind of depends on the routing that we've chosen.
Which, for the most part, the route has changed quite a lot over the last few months, but it's been starting to finalize out the last month or two, which Astro Bot's coming up on its 3-month anniversary now since it's been out. So the route's been developing pretty well since then. Me and Exelius pretty much are using the same route, except for a few hiccups here and there, even down to a lot of the same little strats. I'd say we're definitely 2 of the most closest people on the board, so this should be an interesting race, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. We were talking about there's definitely 2 bots that we go for differently. My main reason going for one, I know, was I was already very comfortable with it, and I was like, I don't really want to change the route of mine for the other one. So I was like, I'm gonna keep the one I was going for to make sure I could keep it consistent.
Yeah, and like it won't matter too much because I think it's only going to be like a few second difference depending on what bots we've chosen. Like I think I still have Thor routed and you have it routed out maybe, but either way, yeah, it's going to be pretty similar, I'd say.
Yeah, I do have that one routed out. You're right on that.
Which there's a lot of stuff that we can talk about in general. There's no like big movement tech for Astro Bot, but there is a few things to keep in mind, such as there is a sprint mechanic involved with Astro Bot. So as long as you're not running into a wall or to an edge or anything, it takes 4 seconds of non-stop speed before Astro will just start sprinting, and his speed will be like almost doubled, I'd say. It's very easy to lose that speed, so it takes a lot of practice knowing what will stop your speed and knowing how to maintain it while also performing all the strats at the fastest possible precision, pretty much. I know that's definitely one of the things that was the hardest for me to grapple onto when I first started out runs in my first month. which it's a little bit similar to Playroom, but still vastly different, right?
Yeah. So if I remember correctly, in Astro's Playroom, I think you actually lose your sprint for longer. It takes a little longer to come back. And then also the kind of charge spin that you can do, that one also takes longer to charge in Astro's Playroom as well. They shortened the timer for that one here. And you'll probably notice at points, if we're standing on a single platform or something, we'll be running in little circles. That's literally just so that we don't lose the actual sprint that we've built up to that point. But they definitely made some changes to this game for the better. This game feels a lot more comfortable than Astro's Playroom, and Astro's Playroom already felt really great.
This game just looks good too. Like it looks like it controls really well.
It does.
Yeah, it's so strange to see a game that looks like this, but also be at 60 FPS, like, and not like the Nintendo Switch grainy filter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just a big platformer fan, so definitely will compare it to what I know.
Yeah, Sony games are pretty good at that, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Making everything look and play really well. It's nice that we have another platformer now that is on the level of all of Sony's modern projects. I know I've been waiting for a game like this for a while.
Yeah, for sure.
One other thing to note about Astro Bot as we go through all these levels is that a lot of these levels have unique gadgets that normally you're not going to see these gadgets reused too often. So we already saw in the first level we had this balloon power-up, and in the second level right there we had this frog power-up. And each of those have some small unique tech to it. So we probably won't explain all of it, but like for example, the frog gloves allow you to have stall in the air, one punch extra longer in the air, so you can get a longer jump to make longer precise jumps. And it also has this like spin mechanic though that you'll see us perform to pretty much hit anything and all the things around us as soon as possible, which is pretty cool. We also have these lost levels, so sometimes we'll complete a level without actually completing it by accessing the secret level, and that marks a level as completed ahead of time before we actually have to complete it the legit way. And there's two reasons why we'll do this. One is because we can go collect bots in the lost level, and that's faster than us collecting bots elsewhere on the main path. But another reason is because it's just faster to beat the level by going to the secret level instead of the intended way.
That's quite neat.
I like to think of it like the like 2D Mario games where you have a secret warp, maybe that lets you leave the worlds a little bit early. Except it doesn't like let you just skip worlds altogether. It just lets you bypass having to finish that level.
That makes sense, yeah.
I'll talk about robots, but I think, you know what? Let's get into our first robot-themed question for Think Fast, Astro Bot style. What do you say? All right, let's start off with an easy one, all right? All right, so what name for a humanoid robot shares its name with an operating system?
Reploid?
Incorrect.
With an operating system.
Yeah, that's right. It's a lot easier than you may imagine. A lot more simple.
I was taking a stab at it. I was like, I think that's wrong, but I'm going for it.
It's close.
What was the full question again?
What name for a humanoid robot shares its name with an operating system? I will say this question is worded a little bit strangely, so it may be hard. But once you understand it, it's like it should come right to you.
Let's just go down the list. Windows,
No.
Linux.
No.
Never said it was a computer
Mac
operating
OS.
system.
No.
Well, I mean, not a desktop operating system, at least.
You can fit it in your pocket. I will say that.
Oh.
Y'all have
Guys.
phones?
Man, now I'm all confused. I'm like thinking hard. I'm like, wait, what?
You have phones,
Okay,
don't
Is it iOS?
you? The other one.
Android?
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. Android, the
Hey, we
famous
got there
Samsung
eventually.
operating system brand. Good job, runners.
Let's do 10 for B-Dub for that one.
Okay, we're just breaking the ice, all right? We're getting used to this. We'll make it through, I promise. Only like 30 of these to go.
Man,
Don't
I
make
was
it sound so
confused by that
painful.
question. Like, whenever he said the answer, I was like, oh, yep, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was
It's like,
overthinking
I will
it.
say, like, because like humanoid robot, and then it's just I kind of hit you with that, and then the end of the question is operating system. So it kind of just if you asked me that, like, I'd be in the same spot as you personally. So I understand.
Yeah, I was thinking, I was like, man, maybe there's one called Reploid, and I've just never heard of it or something.
Some like super obscure operating system.
I believed you, honestly. I
Right.
didn't know it wasn't real until you just said it. This is a cool little mini game you're doing. Are there a lot of other sections in the game like this? As someone who's never played.
The like flying in intro section.
Oh, that was just the intro. Yeah, I just clicked right back to watch the game. I just saw that, so.
Yeah, some of them are. Sometimes you have a big, like, little flying mini game at the start. Some of them are pretty simple and just get you straight into the level. But yeah, I like the construction derby one there. It's a little bit more involved, and sometimes you have like puzzle pieces that you have to go for. We actively avoid them in those little mini game sections because you actually lose time for every puzzle piece you get. Well, every time you. Oh shoot! I have made a blunder. That's okay though. So if you get a puzzle piece, you lose like 3 seconds when you go back to the crash site, and we go back to the crash site like I want to say 6 different times throughout the game. So that's if you keep getting puzzle pieces, you could end up losing like 20 seconds over the course of the run.
Well, you're not the only one who made a blunder. Sorry.
We have our new favorite gadget here, the dog jetpack. I don't know how
Dog
far apart
jetpack? Wait.
me and you are, but
Love that. Love him.
yeah, isn't it great? A dog jetpack, we love it.
So it's different from the normal jetpack you're using, right? The hover?
Yes, so
more like
the
a
hover
blast
is just
Velocity.
yeah, this gives us a really big force and momentum forward.
The turbo nozzle.
True.
Yes. Good way of thinking about it, actually. But yeah, it's actually interesting. Team Asobi, the developers for this game, made some speedrunning DLC levels for Astro Bot, and one of the first levels that they released, well, the first level that they did release, it featured this jetpack dog. And it allowed us to kind of hone in on what is exactly fastest with this. So it is actually faster to end up doing like short bursts instead of doing long bursts with the jetpack. So kind of just like tapping R2 every time you get a chance.
Yeah, I can kind of tell it's like the little bursts of speed are like, if you held it longer, it'd probably just like dissipate longer.
Yeah, it tapers
The longer
a
you
little
do
bit.
it, so.
Yeah, it's something that we tried to compare side by side, and it actually doesn't like change the overall time too much. But like when it ended up getting to the speedrunning level and changing the milliseconds, it ended up being like mattering a lot more then.
In a long any percent run, it's barely noticeable, but in a speedrunning stage, it creates this huge margin of difference between like who's doing the long burst and who's doing the short burst.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like rolling in Zelda. You know, if like you rock normally, then it doesn't look that different. But like if you just roll spam across like a giant field, you would save a significant amount of time. It makes sense to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is definitely one of the few movement techs in the game that I really enjoy, is constantly having to do the short burst in order to save, I mean, even just like a few seconds for sure.
The Gorilla La La Land? Gorilla La Land?
Gorilla Land.
Gorilla Land.
I've tried to pronounce it many times.
You know.
That should probably be a trivia question, how to
It's
pronounce
got
this
gorillas,
stage.
so I'm a fan.
We don't have that, but we do have
Hey, swoosh segue, my favorite. Ooh.
in Star Wars. Why is Mace Windu's lightsaber purple?
I don't know.
Oh. I feel like I knew this at one point, but
It's his favorite color.
That is kind of close. It has more. It's not a lore based reason. It is it's a real world like.
oh, it's
implication.
because the actor wanted that. So.
Yes. Yeah, that's
Oh.
it. Yep. It is because Samuel L. Jackson wanted it to be purple.
Yes.
He wanted it to stick out, I guess, more than what the other ones.
Well, it worked.
Yeah.
That's actually a good George
glad I got
Lucas
that.
thing.
I'm glad I got that question because I took a blunder for it. I hit the front of the chimp's face, knocked me off the rooftop.
There you go. There's 20 more seconds for you, so hope that made up for it.
Kind of made up for it, actually. That's it's like
Yeah,
15-second time
that'll
loss,
be
maybe.
pretty close.
I love all the bosses in this run, or just in the game in general. The bosses are definitely like the big spectacle. There's not too much that we can save on most of the, or at least this first one, there's not too much. There's a lots of like little 1 second time saves that can be saved a little bit here and there. On some of the later ones, you'll get to see us actually die on purpose to try to cancel out the some of the boss animations, which will be cool. But Mighty Chewy here doesn't have any animation skips for that. The best that we can do is kind of like kill the ads as fast as they drop here on the buildings.
Not the ads. Wait. We need those.
Oh, these are like the really bad ads.
Oh, like,
They're like pop-up ads.
yeah, true. It's like when you go on armorgames.com and on your school computer, you just can't play because of too many ads.
Yeah. Exactly like that.
All right.
He was like, oh no. He's a funny
Shucks.
guy.
Yeah, this stage currently right here, a lot of people may recognize this as your
Oh,
Ape
it's that one
Escape
game.
stage.
Oh, Ape
Yeah,
Escape.
Yeah, we're gonna have a few stages like this where we're gonna see different cameos, and we
Yeah, I
can
heard
play
this
them
game-
as well.
I definitely heard about this game being like a reference fest for PlayStation games across the years.
Yeah, definitely. I think with all of the hype around this stage, it just shows PlayStation that we need another Ape Escape.
Honestly.
I like to think that it's a little homage to what the developers used to work on, since a lot of the developers in a Team Asobi used to be a part of the Japan studio, which were the developers that originally made Ape Escape.
Oh, interesting.
So we have a lot of special VIP bot levels in this run, but having Ape be the first one is kind of nice. Oh, and the monkeys do love to get away from you. Just like the actual game.
Yeah, I see no difference between a regular Ape Escape run and this one. Can you do the infinite jump with the net?
I wish. Infinite jumps would be so helpful.
Yeah, maybe you should try the same strat that's used in the main game, and then there you go. I think they use the slingshot though. almost.
Yeah, I honestly hadn't even seen an Ape Escape speedrun. I just knew that whenever I played it, I fell in love with it. You know, I was like, oh, these games are they're so good. We need another one so bad.
For sure, yeah.
It's got that late 90s, early 2000s charm to it that just can't be replicated.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I was saying earlier. To me, the game, it feels like it brings more of that PS1 kind of nostalgia feeling out. But at the same time, we get more of like this modern design and take on a PS1 type game.
Yeah, this is a very PlayStation game. I mean, when you're like, spaceship is the PS5 controller, it kind of has to be.
This is true.
Alright, speaking of other PlayStation games.
Ooh.
Kenneth Young, the composer for Astro Bot, also composed what other PlayStation game series?
He for sure did Playroom and Astro's Rescue Mission. Yep.
Yeah.
What other series?
It
I'll
was
say Ape Escape.
It's not Ape Escape. Unfortunately, it's not that relevant.
That would have
to
been
this.
pretty good.
oh, what was
I
it?
wish.
Ratchet and
Tearaway?
No. This is not really. It's
Jack and
not.
Daxter?
It's not like an original PlayStation series, but it is a very notable one. That is to say, it is not on the PS1.
Is it on a main PlayStation system?
Yes,
Oh, is it Little Big Planet?
it is.
Yes. Well done.
Okay.
I forgot that that's the inspiration for a lot of the music on the why Astro Bot. It sounds like Astro Bot. And especially on the rescue mission. I'm really happy that I watched his interview last week.
The knowledge. He was also a sound designer for various iToy games, which peak, honestly.
Wait, are you talking about like the iDog and the iCat and stuff?
No. So, you know the Kinect? The PS2 had that. And
What was it called?
It was the iToy. Like
never
I
heard
as
of
in
this
like,
ever.
yeah,
I
in
remember that.
the eye.
I
had
as in
an
like
iToy.
the literal eye.
The thing you see out of,
eyeball.
yes. Yeah, it was like a little camera that you connected via USB to your PS2, and you played a couple of games on it, and it was mid.
Yeah, I don't remember having a lot of games on it. I remember having this Nickelodeon bowling game.
I had that one too, I think. There was a Nick game. There was like a general like PlayStation game. I don't remember the name of it, but yeah, there were definitely some games on it. And then like the Wii happened, and then
It died.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was basically a very early precursor to the Kinect.
So we're at the crash site right now. We got to make 4 visits here to the crash site. Most of them are pretty straightforward, where we're just putting in the component that we just saved here. But there is a bit of motion sensor shenanigans that go on that usually help us speed up a few seconds here and there. So as you saw from both of us, we hammered in really fast, and that actually does go faster by us having motion controls on and just slamming our controllers up and down. Cameras would have made that look entertaining.
Squad.
But yeah, what's also nice about the crash sites though is that every time we're going to these satellite sections of the game, we have about I think it's 7 bots every time that we can collect. And none of these bots will show any animations. They'll be retrieved instantly. And there's always one with like a group of 4 altogether. So it makes them a prime candidate for us to route these bots into the run.
Right, and the very first time we go to crash site, we pick up 2 from like that Astro meteor looking thing that falls on 2 of them. That's the only time we'll do that when we come back to the crash site is get 2 in the main hub. The rest of them, like B-Dad said, will be 7 per world that we're going to go to, our next satellite that we're going to go to. So we get 2 in the very first run when we come back to the crash site, and then every time after that is going to be 7 more.
Yes.
Interesting.
The routing in this game has been like some of the most involved and exciting routing that I've ever had the pleasure of routing for any game, which I've been involved with a lot of games at releases, but specifically because this game had the 200 bot requirement, it's just like so interesting to see how a few seconds going this way or a few seconds going that way can make the whole difference on changing the route up completely. It's been a really, really cool experience. We're on our way to Nebula 2 now, so we're 1/5 of the way there. But this next level is one of my most infamous ones, which has started to get better for me now, because well, one of the speedrun levels has helped me with the ability on this, but we have a very specific monkey gadget in this next level that's we're going to be able to do very fast climbing with. And the way it works is that you kind of like, it's hard to explain actually without a controller display, but you're like kind of like moving your controller side to side or up and down side to side really rapidly fast, and that's going to allow you to climb extremely fast compared to what a normal person would be able to do. And you'll see this by example in a second here.
Yeah, and typically what I like to do, a lot of people hold the controller face down, which is what the game teaches you. I actually pick the controller up and hold it in a more vertical sense so I can easily hit both of the trigger buttons and let go of them as I'm tilting the controller back and forth. So yeah, I found that one works a little better for me.
How much of a workout is speedrunning this game?
A lot, sometimes.
I was about to say, I'm not proud of it, but this game has made me sweat doing this.
Really is like Mario Odyssey.
A little taste of it, yes. You should see people that are dedicated to speedrunning
monkey.
Fast monkey. You should see the people dedicated to grinding out the single speedrun level that is just monkey climbing 24/7. They'll do this for like, I mean, Exalius, he's done it literally. What's the longest session that you've gone on just to do that latest DLC level?
Which one?
Like the monkey, the 5th one, the monkey one. How many hours have you spent on it? Just trying to do those monkey climbs.
I would argue I've probably spent pretty close to maybe 20-ish hours on it.
Oh, no.
I know initially when it released, I spent roughly probably about 6 hours the first day it came out. I did a long stream. I was like, I'm only gonna do 2 hours because I'll probably get tired. I ended up going 6 hours.
Yeah, surely your forearms are like shredded by now, right? Like you look like Luke from Street Fighter.
No, they're just really sore. They're really sore and very weak.
No gains, unfortunately.
I put a little bit of time into that level, but I got too sore way too fast, so.
I could imagine.
Yeah, you'll have to talk about the clipping through the wall. You'll have to do that. I completely did it and completely forgot to bring it up.
Oh
Yeah, I saw that and was interested.
Yeah, so this is one of the most infamous skips in the run. It saves about a minute and a half. And what it basically is a way to clip through that wall and basically skip the boss that's at the end of this level. So there's not like a lot of big clips in this game, but essentially how this clip works is, if I can get up here after this monkey climbing. You can tell my monkey climbing is not as good as Exelius's, but essentially we have to lift off at the exact perfect height at the peak of our jump with the correct motion controlled adjusted spin to get us to the peak, which you could have motion controls off, but if you grab the hold and let go at it within like a split second of grabbing it, it allows this like certain momentum to pass through the wall, and yeah, just like that, you kind of can kind of just like flip through. It's very finicky and something that when you first try to practice, it's like something that you won't get for like 50 attempts. But then once you get a knack for it, it's something that you can really do every like 2 or 3 attempts without failing once you have it practiced. But yeah, it's just essentially flying up at the peak of your jump, at the peak of your swing, and then just grabbing and letting go very quickly is what allows you to kind of flip through.
Interesting.
It's definitely the trick that saves the most time in this entire game.
Well, speaking of saving time, have I got the offer for you? All right, check this one out. Okay. What film went under the working titles They Bite and Star Beast before landing on its more iconic name?
Star Beast. What's the full title again?
So it went under the previous titles, working titles, They Bite and Star Beast, before landing on its more iconic name.
Working Star Beast. Star Beast. What are sci-fi movies with a Star Beast?
Stargate?
No. It's a lot more literal.
Yeah.
I wanted to just throw out an answer, but I can't think of anything.
It is an extremely popular movie, I would say, in the genre. And yeah, it is science fiction.
Guardians of the Galaxy?
No.
No.
I didn't think so, but
Yeah, I keep thinking superhero
the
movies
sheer
for some
contrast
reason.
of that to the right answer is very funny to me, sorry. It's an older movie.
How much older?
Like, well, it's older. Feel the cogs turning.
man, I am like... I'm drawing a blank. I'm going to be straight up honest. I can't think of anything.
Yeah, it doesn't help the fact that we're on downsize right now either.
Right.
I think
This
fast
is a
trap.
this is a very technical moving level.
Well, I will say, when you think of a star beast, that might be a more like extravagant name for what it literally is. You know, what we think of them as.
Yeah, I would say they kind of took that name and dumbed it down a little
Star
bit.
Beast. It's not like Planet of the Apes or anything, is it?
No.
It's a one-word title.
One word title.
Just one word?
Come on, Frog, please. Please.
Not frog.
Why couldn't it be Frog?
It better be my favorite film.
Dude, what are even movies that start with one word? I mean, a lot, but
I think most movies do start with a word, yeah.
Go on, man.
If you had to name a science fiction movie from the late 70s, early 80s.
the first one comes to mind is Star Wars, but
That's fair.
not that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, it can't be that, right?
Just had a Star Wars question, can't be.
Yeah.
I would
The
never
answer can't
repeat.
be C again. The only other one I can think of is Star Trek. And I was like, can't be it.
Okay, downsize complete. What was the full title again? It was
So it was
Blank
two.
and
It was
Star Beast?
it was two separate titles. So They Bite was the first title, and then Star Beast was the second title. So They Bite, right? That's like scary. Look
They
at that.
Bite.
Yeah.
Alien.
Definitely.
There you go.
It is
There you go.
Alien,
Alien. I think the problem was did you guys think I said one full title, like They Bite the Star Beast or something?
I did. I'm gonna be honest, but
Yeah, I should have separated them more.
even if I didn't, no, I don't know if it would have helped me because I was
Fair,
still
yeah.
struggling just to think of sci-fi movies.
My mind was very focused on the downsize level. I couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, you can skip so much of downsize with the mouse mechanic. It's really cool.
I don't know. There's probably a lot of older-ish sci-fi movies I haven't actually seen. Alien, actually, I have never seen.
I think I've seen like clips of it, like the most famous moments, but the actual movie itself, it's kind of you kind of have to go out of your way to watch it these days.
Yeah, I definitely, if it wasn't Alien, I was going straight to Predator.
True.
Yeah, I mean,
I knew that it had to be something in outer space, but then beyond that, I'm like, what older outer space movies are there? Like, I kept thinking like superhero type stuff.
Right,
Because of
yeah.
these,
True.
but
Yeah.
Probably should have just thrown a few of those out there just for the fun of it.
Yeah, you were talking about doing downsize, B-Dude. I literally missed 2 bots. I had to go back.
Oh,
I got near the end of the stage, and I was like, wait, I don't remember picking up these 2. So I had to
A
drop all the way
distraction.
down just to pick them up. Think fast is working.
it is working.
too busy thinking. Yeah, I'll be honest. A lot of the science fiction questions we have are about movies, so
Buckle up.
there's not a lot about like what's actually in them, so it's not too bad. I think I could have gone for super deep cuts, but I don't think I did this time for everyone's sake.
This new area looks cool.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, this area, we get to see the frog again. Like Vita was saying, we can kind of stall ourselves in the air a little bit with the frog punches. So I don't do it much in this stage, but we will see it near the very end because we get to do a really cool trick at the very end. Normally you get swallowed up by this worm, but someone found a way that you can completely skip that part of the stage and just end the stage. So we'll be using the stall with the frog gloves to be able to pull that off.
No! I've made a little blunder. You don't want to touch the cactuses, FYI. Who would have guessed?
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about touching that one. You stopped me.
Yeah. I wish the Fate of Lux had us have the question fall on this level, because this level I typically see as more mild. It still has its fair
Right.
tricks that you have to pull off, but
We can have a question fall on this level.
I mean, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
All right. So this one's multiple choice. I'll give you both one option, and then if you get it right, you get it right. If you don't get it right, you don't get it right. Which
Okay.
of these franchises has not had a release in 2024? Your options are Alien, Ghostbusters, Transformers, or Godzilla.
Transformers.
Ooh,
It's
good one.
no, not. It's what are B and D again?
The options are Alien, Ghostbusters, Transformers, and Godzilla.
I'm gonna go Godzilla. It's either B or D.
It is Transformers.
Is it?
Alien Romulus came out this year. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. The last Transformers movie was last year with Rise of the Beasts. And Godzilla and Kong, The New Empire was also this year. Also
I don't know
Godzilla
why,
-1
but
was last year as well. But
Yeah, I thought there was for sure a Transformers movie this year. My bad.
Yeah, I knew there was a new Godzilla and a new Alien. Those were two I knew for sure. So I was down to Ghostbusters and Transformers. And I was like, I think I remember seeing commercials for Ghostbusters this year.
I never
Alright.
keep track of the Godzilla movies, like King Kong or Godzilla. Those like usually fly over my radar. Everything else usually I end up seeing, but
okay, I'm
Honestly-
making an addendum to that question because literally 16 people in chat have told me that there was a animated Transformers movie. So the question now reads, which has not
Yeah.
had a live action release this year, and it is still Transformers.
Chat owned.
yeah, was it Transformers 1
Yeah.
that released this year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I didn't know what it was about, but I thought I heard about that.
Which it did not show up when I searched 2024 science fiction movies, so blame Google for that one. But anyways,
The animated movie in today's climate is pretty rough.
We got our second boss here, who I like to call Walking Taco from time to time. And you will get to see us do the thing that I mentioned earlier, where we die and we actually save time from dying. So it'll take about a minute for me, or more like 30 seconds here, before he'll do his like little spiky ball attack out of his mouth. And that spiky ball attack, if we die on, he'll just stop immediately and start doing his fist attack again. So that saves like a good, I don't even know how much time it would save, but probably like 4 or 5 seconds maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, I think it saves at least 5 seconds, if I remember correctly. So I haven't just detail timed it, but it's got to be something close to that.
Yeah. Yeah, so just that right there saves 4 or 5 seconds. Ain't that neat? We love our little time saves. Well, I guess technically 4 or 5 seconds is pretty major for, like there's a lot of time saves now that we're, like right now in the community, anything that saves like a second or two seems like it's a holy godsend pretty much. Like, because we're struggling to find any more time saves now.
That's pretty impressive in the first year of the game. You guys are cooking.
Yeah, we have been hard at work.
Yeah, we have one member in the community who, if I remember correctly, they basically really just kind of like broke God of War Ragnarok, found all kinds of glitches and clips. And they're doing the same thing for Astro. And they have found really just some really crazy skips and whatnot. And whenever I watch, I'm like, how do you find things like this? Like, it's truly impressive.
I feel like that's speedrunning in a nutshell. I am not really a great router or glitch hunter, but what people can do, you're like, how did you think of that in the first place, and why does it work?
Yeah. I know how to
Yeah.
follow notes, and that is it. I cannot think for myself.
About the only thing I can do is route. As far as finding the glitches and clips and little nuances like that, I don't typically find those. When I do find them, people are like, whoa, how'd you think of that? I'm like, it was an accident. I'm going to be honest. I was trying to do something else.
The said router runner in mention is goes by Pico, and yeah, he's like been figuring stuff out for like all the categories too. Most recently, there was actually a way found to skip this entire boss, but only on the 1.0 version of the game because some of the boundaries. Yeah. Which 1.0 is really interesting because it doesn't seem like it's just like right before launch. It feels like it's actually like 4 or 5 months before launch. It's really wild how much stuff's changed. But anyways, there's a way to skip that whole boss by swimming off to a trigger that's like a minute off the edge of the map pretty much. And it ends up saving you like 2 minutes almost. It's pretty cool.
And if I remember correctly, in 1.0, you don't have to collect 200 bots to clear the game either, right?
Yeah, they dropped it to a 180 bot requirement instead of 200. So that alone will save you a bit of time as well. There is some added cutscenes and animations that you can't skip, so it kind of like levels out almost. But it does save more time, that version, than current version by at least a few minutes. We are on what most people consider their favorite level in the game, which is God of War, the God of War inspired level, which I think we can all agree that the soundtrack specifically for this level is just amazing.
My favorite part is whenever he says boy.
Yes, I can agree with you on that one. We love the boy. I think both me and Exilius routed out a bot heal, which I failed the Wormy skip earlier, which is nice because if you 2 levels ago we had the Wormy skip at the end of the level. If you mess that up, you can get that bot and then just route out a bot in this level instead. So it's nice that you can like, the route's pretty flexible if you make mess ups, that you can just route one in or one bot in and one bot out if need be. But yeah. Of course, we're going to use the Leviathan axe to our fullest benefit here. I'm going to try to throw it right here as I go up to... Oop, there we go. Got it on the catchback. Got that bill taken care of a second before I had to get up and like get it with a strike. Because if you go up personal to that bill, you kind of like get flung back and it loses you like 3 seconds. So it's really critical to get that axe throw right away.
Yeah, one thing I found really interesting about the God of War stage is if you do make a mistake in the stage and you lose a life, you know, Astro will come back and do the, oh gosh, what's it called now? I'm drawing a blank, like Spartans, War Cry, is that what it's called? He'll be sitting still, but if you throw the axe, it'll cancel that animation, so that way you can start moving a lot faster.
Interesting.
Bowser throw.
Yes. They had to sneak that in.
They went so heavy with particles in this game, I've noticed. There's just so many particles everywhere.
Yeah.
They could just do that and then
Honestly,
no
yeah,
slowdown,
like,
no.
let's use
frame.
the PS5 to its maximum.
Yeah. And they also like the leveled introductions, like they just phase in as if there's like no load time. It's just a part of the game. It's just ridiculous to me.
Technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you pay real close attention to some of the things as we play throughout the game, you know, the game is just full of references, you know, of course, everyone knows that. But you'll see, like, the face buttons, the triangle, square, circle, X, all that. You'll see that hidden throughout the game. And like you were saying, you know, like little particles that fly up, you know, you can catch that sometimes in different places. Like, even on this hog here that we're pulling, you can see all the X patterns on the wire that we're pulling.
One of my favorite little details of those is the raindrops in the levels with rains. The rain, as it splatters on the ground, splatter in the shape of the PlayStation buttons.
That's wild.
It's such a tiny detail that most 99% of people won't notice, but it's so cool when you do notice it.
That is super interesting.
I just came across it, like, I don't know, I was like in the second week of routing, and I just was like looking for strats on that level, and I just realized all of a sudden that that was an effect going on.
You two seem to know a lot of Easter eggs about this game, but do you know this one? In the Astro Bot announcement trailer, Astro first grabs onto what part of the DualSense controller to fly away?
The left handle.
The left analog stick?
Those are different
Left
parts.
analog
Oh, they're
stick.
different.
But-
Oh my God. That's on me. That's on me. I don't play on PlayStation. I thought that was just what you were calling the. Okay, well, I botched it. That's on me. Newbie host.
You get a couple seconds for saying left, I guess. You got the right half.
I just love
It's
if
probably
I
the
was-
same as when he grabs in the actual game too, so I should know that pretty well. I'd
Wait, the
assume,
left
but-
handle is just the way how you hold the controller. What was I thinking of? I don't know what I was thinking of.
Yeah,
I
like,
knew he like grabs on from that lefter part. Lefter? I don't know if that's a word, but you know, he kind of
Yeah.
like grabs
think they
that
call it-
lower left center.
I want to say they
area.
call it the grip, like the left
Grip.
grip. I
Grip.
don't
Yeah,
know.
the
No,
left
it's
grip
like-
maybe.
But literally, if you show me a GameCube controller and you're like, what are you holding with your left hand? I'd say the left handle. So I think
I
I
would say
just
handle
had a
too,
complete, I had a complete brain meltdown for no reason. That's completely on me.
I just found it humorous. You were like the left analog stick. I just hear
Sure, yeah, that one.
Sure.
That sounds right.
When you said left, I thought you were just like going to it immediately. So
You
I was
heard
like,
left, and you're like, yep, that's the right answer. You got it.
But now that I think about it, why would he grab it by the analog stick? That doesn't seem good for your
know.
controller.
Yeah, don't.
Have you ever
don't-
grabbed
Yeah.
anything by the analog stick before on your controller?
Only
But that
when
was
I
really
only create
mad.
drifting.
Probably unintentionally. That hurts the controller. Don't do that. Pick it up by the left handle. Or the right one. Alright. How about one that you can't just say a word and then we'll tell you the right answer?
yeah, I'll
Maybe.
just stay quiet for this one.
Oh, but those are my favorite ones.
Left. Who composed the soundtrack to Tron Legacy?
Oh,
Steven Spielberg.
No.
Wait.
Composed the music.
I'm just gonna take a stab in the dark and say, Kenneth C. M. Young.
No.
let's Hans Zimmerman, or is that his name?
Yes, but no. This is not really like a music composer, I would say. This is kind of just like an artist that ended up making the music for this movie. And they're definitely known for their, I guess, music in that style, like electronic stuff.
Electronic stuff.
They do also feature in the film as a little cameo.
I haven't seen that movie since it's come out in theaters, I think.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it too, but at the same time, I'm like, maybe I just don't know the guy.
It is a duo.
Oh, I definitely don't know. Oh,
Had me there for a second.
Their primary genre of music is specifically French house, which probably makes everything worse, but
I don't know. I just listened to French House yesterday. I don't know. I don't know if it was Tron or not.
I would say this duo is probably the most iconic in the genre as a whole.
Just really quick right here, we're gonna do a pretty cool skip here on Casino. So if we don't do that, So whenever we do that final slot machine, there will be rising platforms. So if we stop time and land on it, and then unfreeze time and jump as it's going up, we can actually get a physics abuse glitch and launch ourselves really high up into the air. Like this.
Whoa.
Interesting.
And we can skip that entire slot machine section. Okay, but back to the question that I clearly don't know the answer to.
They relatively recently broke up, kind of, and stopped really making music. Their last major album was in 2013, and they
2013.
on that album, Pharrell was a pretty famous feature on it.
This question just keeps getting harder and harder, I swear.
I don't know what helps or not.
The early 2010s. Yeah, they got a lot of stuff going.
That's just their latest album. Yeah, they've been a thing since the late 90s.
Yeah, you could say they remain awake long into the night. Perhaps to get fortunate to some degree.
You said awake, and the first thing that came to my mind was skillet.
It is not. That is just a dude. Or no, sorry, I was thinking of Skrillex, not Skillet. That's a band.
Is it oh shoot, who are they? Daft Punk.
Yes,
There you go.
There you
Yep.
go.
Oh,
The Get Lucky.
Yeah, I was
go,
really
yeah.
hoping at least one of you would get that. I tried to make it as cryptic as possible.
Yeah.
boy,
I'm
my
surprised
mind was not even going there.
Yeah.
I had to have the Get Lucky tip for that.
Yeah, the thing is, I know Get Lucky, but probably the song to listen to the most by them was the Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I got an email from Spotify today that says I'm one of their biggest fans, so apparently I just listen to them a lot, so that's cool.
Wow.
Oh, did Spotify Rap just come out?
No, but they're like selling merch, and Spotify's like, oh, you're one of their biggest fans. You get early access, which I'm sure they send to everyone.
It's like a Super Bowl event now. Have merch, it's got
Spotify
like
merch?
marketing.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what it feels like.
We got another notorious level here with lots of skips and a lot of heartbreak, which is Bathhouse. Oh, okay, there we go. We have a very precise jump that I just performed there to jump on a tiny beanstalk. It's extremely precise, but I did it. And then we're gonna water this stalk as we hover above it as it goes up out of the ground and pushes us up. We're not supposed to land on it, but I did. I did it. This level is like literally everything, like even hitting that bot in midair, and like not jumping out of it correctly like I did right there. There's just so much time loss that you can have on this level. It's if anyone learns this game for the first time, it's definitely the one that's gonna have the biggest mistakes from the get-go. But it's really interesting though, because Big Sponge Boy here, he just moves really fast, so it'll really opens up the field to what is possible and what is skippable in this level.
Me, Bob. Sorry.
I like to think of the right at the middle point here as the terrible 3, which I feel like every speedrun has a terrible 3 in the middle. But I normally call Casino bathhouse, and then trapped in time as the 3 levels were. If anything can go wrong, they will go wrong on these levels.
Naturally.
Yeah, and then we've got the cameo stage at the end. That one eats me alive. Some people don't have issues with it, but that one, I make a lot of mistakes in that one typically. Say I don't want to spoil it, but say once we get there, it has probably one of the, I guess, like cameo mechanics that I enjoy the most. Aside from the Ape Escape, though, that one just pure nostalgia.
Yeah. Definitely my personal favorite.
All right, let's do one more question and then take our break if y'all are up for that.
Yep.
All right. Both Captain America's shield and the Black Panther's suit are comprised of what fictional metal?
Vibranium.
That is right.
No.
The Marvel heads have arisen.
Ask me any superhero thing, and I should get it.
Yeah, I felt like from the Guardians of the Galaxy response earlier, I was like, I feel like we have a Marvel grease set on our hands here.
Typically I say I like Marvel and Batman. That's typically how I go.
Same, pretty much.
Yeah, so B-Dude was mentioning earlier that one of the terrible 3 stages, this one trapped in time. So all of the purple sand you're seeing is quicksand and will kill you if you stay in it too long. But if you just punch and flail your arms about, instead of sinking to it, you can just walk on it. And we can skip most of the stage just by doing this.
Oh. All right, well, we did the question. It was quick. You want to do another one, or do you want to take a break?
I'm fine with another one.
All right. Yep. On the same vein of fictional metals and elements, what is the fictional element at the center of the plot of the film Avatar?
Which
should know
Avatar?
The first one. The
blue?
the Navi one. Yeah.
Yeah, with the blue Pandora and aliens.
Oh, okay.
I knew this at one point. Shoot.
Man, it's been so long since I've seen that movie.
Yeah.
It is a very uninspired name.
The meta context on this is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Let's think.
Avatar alloyed.
It is also vibranium.
It is not also vibranium, unfortunately. It is something Eum, but the actual name of it is not
Materialium.
good. It is kind of on the vein of that, but no. It I guess
Orium.
it speaks to its rarity.
Rarium.
No.
Legendarium.
Nope.
Mythicalium?
Not that kind of rarity.
Yeah, it's like
I guess.
Yeah, it's not a very not
Not like
fun-sounding
RPG
word.
rarity.
No,
Oh, okay.
it's like literally you can't have this.
Yeah.
Radium?
It
That's
is
real.
not it's not a real one. If you were
Alright.
to have the most uninspired name for an element that is very hard to get,
Metallium?
Unoriginarium.
Originarium. Can I get points for that?
No, Normalium. I don't know.
it is specifically
Thorium.
about how hard it is to get. And the name of the element kind of references that.
What'd you say, B-Dub?
Unattainabilium.
That is
Very close.
it is
What?
almost there.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Unobtainium?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Wait, say it again. Say it again, so we make sure.
Unobtainium.
Unobtainium?
Yes, unobtainium.
It is unobtainium.
That is correct.
What?
It's not good.
You cannot have it. Unobtainable.
That's just silly.
Therefore, yeah. And that movie made almost $3 billion. So you don't need a good plot point to make a good movie, I suppose. Or to
Didn't
make
they
a
still
profitable
lose
movie.
money? Even
I
after
don't
that
know.
profit, though? I think they still lost money, if I remember correctly.
I know for like Avatar 2, it was like James Cameron was like, we need to be like the third most grossing movie ever to break even. And I think they did, but yeah. All right, with that very lame answer, if y'all are ready to pause, we can do so.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I guess just 3, 2, 1, pause.
Okay.
Cool. So, to those watching, we are not going anywhere. We're going to take a quick break. But first, we have a couple announcements.
Of course we do, Swoos. Let's see. Let's take a look here. Oh, of course. AGDQ 2025 will be live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania from January 5th to January 12th. Registration and hotel booking are now open until the end of Monday, December 2nd. Wait, that sounds
today?
funny. Yeah, that's today. Oh, y'all got to get on it. I mean, if you're not registered already, then visit gamesdonequick.com and check the AGDQ 2025 important dates section to learn more. Highly recommend it. And also join us in celebrating Black Joy with Back to Black from February 6th to February 9th, 2025. Find out more info at gamesdonequick.com/blackintheflash.
We will be right back. Don't go anywhere. We're still thinking.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Think Fast, the speedrunning game show of fast times and sharp minds. If you're just joining us, I'm your host, Swoos.
And I'm also your host, Sparkle.
In case you forgot how the game works, it's not enough to simply beat the game the fastest. Our runners are answering our trivia questions as they play, and the more questions they get right, the more seconds we take off their time. Again, for everyone watching at home, feel free to play along in chat. I think where we're at right now is B-Dud is ahead in trivia, but Exelius is up in game time. I don't know for sure. I think that's what I've seen. But there is still a good amount of time left in the run, so there is an opportunity for that to change. If y'all are ready to go.
Yep.
I'm ready.
Are you ready
I'm
to go?
ready.
All right. The only way to find out who's going to win is to think fast. In 3, 2, 1, go.
And yeah, we were trying to see how close we were. I think Exelius is maybe a minute ahead of me, but I got about 30 seconds on the trivia. Exelius also has one bot ahead of me, which is probably roughly around 20 seconds of time difference that you might add on into there. But yeah. Seems
Yeah, that's a
pretty
question
good.
I kind of had. So if you end up missing a bot, how does it depend on which ones you would go back for, as opposed to ones you miss them as bad? So maybe later on you pick up another bot that you maybe wouldn't go for regularly.
Yeah, it depends on where you are on the route and how knowledgeable you are with the stuff on the routes. So if you're knowledgeable on stuff that can be routed in and out, then you can go for one that's up ahead. Which most of the bots that we have on the verge of being routed in or out are around the 25 to 30 seconds, pretty much. So we miss a bot earlier on, we know that it's going to take us about 25 extra seconds to go out of our way to route in a new one ahead on our path. Which, yeah, there's about 7 just backup bots that were usually in the early routes in the first month or two that we simply just don't go for anymore. So it's typically those bots that we route in. But it can definitely depend.
Yeah, typically what I like to do is if I find out I missed a bot somewhere and I'm in the final nebula, then typically what I'll do is I'll just open a secret world called Turtles and Trash and get the bots from there, and then just kind of get whatever I need. Because usually you're only gonna miss maybe 1 or 2. It's highly unlikely you're gonna miss more than that.
Yeah, one that I like to use is the Sub-Area Orbital if I ever do miss a bot by that point. Yeah, that one's usually like 20 seconds. Turtles is good because it's like a minute and a half. You go through all that, but you route out the end of Frozen and you get 2 extra bots that way, so yeah. So lots of options you get.
Yeah, that is definitely one thing I like about the game is if you make a mistake, yeah, you'll lose a little bit of time, but you can definitely still recover if you're very familiar where all the bots are.
Absolutely. I think we're both on Vinamora now.
Yeah, I just exited Vinamora.
Which Vinamora is a little bit more like Chewy, where it doesn't have like a lot of time to save. There's a few little things that we can do here. We're gonna die to the spit attack up here, and that saves a whole second, or I think even less than that. I think it's like 2/10 of a second, something like that. It's very marginal,
Yeah.
but it's like it's very easy to go for, so we'll go for it just because.
Right, it's a free second, and you still get to keep 1 extra hit point. So it's kind of like, why not just go ahead and take the second?
Yeah. The next boss is going to be is going to have a lot of time save, actually. It's also the hardest and most scariest boss fight in the run. Because we utilize basically every boss fight, if you didn't know, you have 3 lives instead of just the 1 life that you have before you die. So we're going to utilize our 2 hearts, our 2 lives on the next boss, and we're going to be left at 1 life for pretty much the rest of the fight. And it's just one where you can easily die if you're not paying attention or if you don't have things as precise and practiced. Yeah, it's very, very precise.
Right, and this current stage that I'm on, dude, right, if you're very familiar with the very popular game Uncharted, you can see that we're playing this Drake. And this little part right here, I like to do. I didn't get it this time. So essentially what I'm trying to do here, this enemy is going to spit a pellet at you, and if you can land on it just right, you can actually jump off of it and skip this entire section. Which I missed it twice.
Yeah, that seems very precise.
I believe. Nice.
There we go.
Oh, that was neat.
Yeah, I've never been able to pull off the pellet hopping, so I'm going to be doing an alternative there, which is still as cool because it's an out of bounds, and we love our out of bounds.
Of course.
But pellet hopping in itself is a cool feature that I think that's the only place that we've utilized that mechanic. But it can be used elsewhere, just in general. Whenever you just see pellets in the air, you can just hop on them like that. Unfortunately, the speedrun doesn't always show every cool little trick in the game.
We need an all tricks category. There you go. Let's showcase the speedrun.
And the rule is you have to make up 1 new trick in every run to be valid.
Oh no.
You have to add to this category.
Yes.
And then all other runs before you become invalid if they haven't done the trick.
Exactly.
It's
So
like
you always get a
Leprechaun.
record if you get a run finished.
So this is my alternative method, where I'm going to be going out of bounds here. Which hopefully, yep, all good.
I like how only some of those terrain things like had collision on them, and others.
Yeah, you really have to play the guessing game for
Right.
that when you're
Yeah.
figuring that out.
It didn't seem that hard to get to that spot to begin with, or at least you made it look easy.
It's not the most horrible out of bounds. Some of them can be a little precise, but none of those spots are like extremely precise, I wouldn't say.
Yeah, it definitely still takes quite a bit of practice to get comfortable with that one. Like Vita, I keep mispronouncing your name, but he too, probably made it look easy. But yeah, all that stuff definitely still takes practice to get it down.
Absolutely. Sometimes I've seen people overshoot those jumps on that out of bounds, so. But like that first, I think the very precise one is like when I'm jumping from that like stone pillar to the first like rock. That one's a little bit quite precise. Which I don't think we've really talked about it, but there is more movement tech involved where in order for us to pull out the most longest jumps, we have to do like spin attacks to hover in the air. And like sometimes we time our hovers at a very precise time when we're like right at the peak of our jump, or like right when we're starting to descend from the peak of our jump, to utilize every like little centimeter in our jumps. Which for any percent, there's a lot of jumps that we prefer to go over consistent. We prefer consistent jumps rather than the most perfect jumps. So there's a few spots where we could actually be a little bit more precise and perfect if we wanted to save off a few more seconds, but for what we're showing, it's enough perfection that we can handle in a 2-hour run.
All right, how about we get back to the questions?
Let's do it.
All right.
All right.
This one I kind of just shoehorned in because it's related to sci-fi, I swear. In the Avengers films, the Tesseract houses the space zone. In mathematics, a tesseract is another name for what 4-dimensional shape?
Cube.
A 4D cube.
What more common name, I guess?
4D square?
It is something cube, but not just 4D cube.
40 cubed, Tessa cube. I have no idea.
But not right.
It is, I don't know how to like describe it. It's kind of like a modifier, like an adjective almost.
Modifier.
It is one word. It's like blank cube, but
hypercube.
it's hypercube.
Is it?
It is.
Wow.
Glad I didn't say what I was going to say, because I would have been wrong.
I thought that was going to be so wrong.
Yep. It is just hypercube. I don't know if there's a term for a 5D cube, if that's like mega cube.
Super ultra cube.
ADHD cube.
Let's see. I don't know. 5-dimensional hypercube. I don't know. I'm not going into nth dimension stuff. I don't understand it, but
Me neither.
you got it right. That's all that matters.
I don't know if that's something that just pulled out of the very back roots of my brain from college or something, but I don't know. It just sounded right. Hypercube.
The evolution of the GameCube.
One of us should have said that.
I would give points for GameCube. I like that. What would a 4-dimensional GameCube look like?
That's the next. That's the Switch 2.
Ooh. Good call.
Xbox 720.
Yes.
The Wii phone. Ugh.
There are very few phrases that get me to instantly laugh, but that is one of them.
I think that video is still on YouTube.
It's gotta be. It's an ancient relic.
Oh yeah. I know exactly which one you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah,
I forget what it was exactly, but I remember like recently there was like headlines about it, about the person who made that video is now like a developer for some game.
Yeah, so I just went to the video. In the description, the very top, it's update. It's been a long time since I made this video, smile. I now work on the Fortnite team at Epic Games.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
so
wow.
cool. That is so. That's bonkers.
Wii phone. I found
Dude,
it.
they were going far.
Honestly, I think you just put that on your resume. Like I made the Wii phone video and Xbox 720.
I would
Don't
say-
even mention that you work for Epic Games. Just leave it at that.
I'd like to believe that's what he did, and that's how he got the job.
I would say they should make a Wii phone emote in Fortnite, but they would get nuked for that. So sad.
What else is in this video? All right, so there's the iPhone 2, which has a sliding keypad. There's the iBox, which is an Apple Xbox. There's the new iPod, which is I don't even
new
know.
Nintendo 3DS.
Kind of. There's the Wii phone, the Nintendo DS, which is almost like a Switch with two screens actually. Nintendo On, which is apparently VR. The Game Boy Omega, which is also like the Switch. GameCube Portable, Xbox 720,
Yes.
Xbox 360 Portable, the PS4. This is just a picture of a PS3, but okay. PS4 again. The text on the screen says PS4 again, and then another PS4. And then there's the iconic PlayStation controller with like a billion buttons on it. Ooh, good video.
We were so greedy back then. We wanted so much. More buttons, more screens,
I just want the Wii phone.
more real estate.
Yeah, so you may have noticed whenever I was doing this stage with the bridge mechanic. Typically, when you walk across a bridge, the whole gimmick of the level is that it breaks, and you fall way short before you can get to the finish line. But people have found out that you can ledge grab on the bridge on the side, and if you immediately jump afterwards, you can cancel that whole animation from even happening. And then I think it may have been you, the dude, that found out that you can actually land on the nose of the kind of like Pharaoh statue up top.
Yes. So you. So yeah, this is a pretty infamous skip here, but and if you activate the cutscene like I'm doing right there on the ledge, you have to restart the level and retry again. But essentially, you skip that. You do a ledge grab at the right time and jump away from it, and you can skip the whole level in this. Just right here. And what I found is that you can... Okay, I did it. You can jump on the nose right here and then jump back, and it basically gives you a checkpoint at the very top there. So it lets you have these like bird jump ropes come down before you're supposed to have them, and it lets you just like basically break this whole level and get bots ahead of time of what you're supposed to. You're supposed to get this like power up that turns you into like a tea kettle that you kind of like allows you to put weight on stuff. But we just avoid that altogether and just say, hey, we don't need that. We're just gonna do this level like we want to and save time doing it. So yeah. It saves about, I want to say 40 seconds doing the level like this. Originally, we found the bridge skip, and that ended up saving like 15, 20-ish seconds, I think. But I'll pair it with this technique to put the level in its post-level state, pretty much. And it saves like another 20, so 40 seconds altogether.
Nice, nice. Saving time in-game and by questions on Think Fast. Check this out.
Whoa.
Astro has appeared as a playable skin in what other video games? You get time for each for each answer you get correct.
In what other video games?
I'm going to guess Little Big Planet.
No. Well,
Sackboy's Big A Big Adventure. He's not in Fortnite yet, is he?
No.
Not yet.
What other games is Astro in? Because he's fairly new.
It is a non-Sony game. Kind of on the right track with Fortnite, actually, in terms of just games that do collabs with literally everything that moves.
Yeah.
Shoot. What other games do lots of collabs? Dead by Daylight, but it's not going to be that.
That'd be interesting.
That would
be
be an
very-
interesting. That would be very interesting to see.
You've got to run from Astro Bot.
Does
Wow, yeah.
Roblox do collabs on stuff?
I'm gonna not have Roblox. It's like probably yes, but like not officially.
It's
I
more
guess.
of like yeah, Roblox is kind of like a Gmod thing.
Yeah, it's like you
know?
could say Minecraft too for the same reason. But
Yeah.
I would say like official collabs with Sony in this case. This game was
Let's
huge
see.
a couple of years ago.
How many years ago?
Wasn't it like
2 or 3 maybe.
I don't know? Wasn't it
It's
like
still pretty big though.
The only thing I can think of is like
I think-
multiverse.
no? It's not multiverses. It's only like 3 or 4 years ago, honestly, when it
Yeah.
peaked.
2 or 3 years ago.
Kind of around the same time as Among Us.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
One of those big like streamer
Oh,
games.
is it Fall Guys?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
Fall
Fall
Guys,
Guys.
yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that was right around the time of Among Us.
Yep.
I forgot that game existed for a while. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I was.
I didn't
kinda
realize
like
there was
the-
an Astro Bot collab. And I played that game a lot.
I played that game a lot at launch. Before there was a lot of collabs and stuff, but I always saw the collabs on Twitter.
Yeah, people say that Fall Guys is like, falling off, but like that game still has a lot of collabs going on at this moment.
So
There's a lot of skins in the game.
yeah, so the Fall Guys collab was actually in 2022. It started the skin. So yeah,
Really?
it was from Astro's Playroom specifically. Yeah, it was actually a couple of years ago.
That's really interesting. Yeah, I never knew that. I never knew Astro would be up to be collaborated already. It's really cool.
Yeah, I knew they did an Among Us collaboration. And I know there was a huge theory going out that the Fall Guys and the Among Us space crew members were the same thing since they look exactly
Yeah.
the same shape and everything. Is that the only collab they've ever done for Astro Bot?
Yeah, it was just those two. It was Fall Guys and Sackboy. Astro Bot also appeared briefly in the PlayStation Studios logo intro and is at the start of the Uncharted and Gran Turismo movies.
Oh,
A little extra
Oh,
extra fact there. Gran Turismo movie definitely is a thing, and it's like a meta movie. Like, YouTube Shorts feed gave me like a clip of it, and it's about like. Let me not spread false information like I did earlier. Apparently, I think it's about like people that play the game and then also like drive. I know the game Gran Turismo features in the movie Gran Turismo.
I see.
It depicts a highly sensationalized account of a real-life British teenager, a teenage Gran Turismo player who became a professional racing car driver. So yeah, I guess it was like, I can drive in the game, I can drive in real life.
Exactly.
I saw too many ads for that movie.
yeah.
That was
I was
complete
actually
opposite.
supposed to go with a group of friends and go see it, and then I just never heard anything else about it. I was like, I guess we're not going to see it.
Did it like do well? Made more than its
mean-
budget at the box office. I guess
Yeah,
it
it's
wasn't
just
that
kind of
bad.
like, I don't know, like the movie you go. It's kind of a movie you go watch, and it's like, okay, I watched it, and then that's it.
Yeah, it apparently got average reviews.
Yeah,
Did it come out this year or was it last year?
Last year.
Okay, because I remember it was like announced. I was curious to see how it was gonna turn out, but then like it released and I didn't hear a thing about it.
It's kind of one of those movies where you're like, oh yeah, that was a thing, huh? And I never really think about.
I was wondering what the most, since we were talking about kind of like crossovers, what the most like crossover PlayStation icon would be. I know in my head for the question, I was constantly thinking of like Ratchet crossovers with multiple games, and to see if any one of those would kind of match over with Astro Bot.
Right.
Because I think Ratchet would be the most crossover used mascot. Can't imagine anything else being more popularly like used, pretty much.
Yeah, I would say so. Probably at least up there.
Yeah, definitely up there.
Just take the cast of PlayStation All-Star Battle Royale and work from there.
Yeah, I was actually really hoping they made another one of those.
Me too. I really want another.
Yeah, because, you know, we had Super Smash Bros. Out at the time, and everyone's like, oh, it's just a copy of that. I'm like, now I'm looking, I'm like, yeah, we have like 4 copies of that now. Let's just bring back All-Stars. Like, that one was actually enjoyable.
Yeah. There were a couple mechanics in the game that I didn't like, but I think overall it was pretty good.
From my 10-year-old mind, it was perfect. I'm sure if I went back to it in today's age, I would not see it in the same light.
Yeah, I don't know how well it's aged.
Right. In PlayStation All-Stars, though, like some of the kids nowadays are saying, you know, you get to play as Kratos, you know, the guy from Fortnite.
Oh boy. We're on the spooky level now, which is one of my hardest levels in the game. There's just so many, anything with a slowdown time mechanic, like it's a very cool mechanic to play around with and play with, but in a speed run, you have to be so precise on the time and like actively timing stuff with your jumps with the slow-mo. It feels like there's 2 like metronomes going off in my head, trying to figure out when to time my jumps and when to time the timing, and it messes me up a whole awful lot. Like right here, for instance.
Yeah, it's definitely, in my opinion, one of the more difficult stages just to play through. Because it, like we do saying, like it feels like there's so many precise things with the time stop mechanic.
Is it possible to do these things without time stop, or is it just a matter of both being convenient and like required by the game?
It is definitely possible to do without the time stop mechanic, except for, as you see when I was going up the wall, there were the knives going at light speed around in circles.
Right.
That's probably the only one I could think of that you probably couldn't do without the time stop mechanic. But
Yeah.
pretty much everything else you can do without it.
Yeah, I mean, quote unquote, can do, because it would be extremely precise to do most of this stuff.
Right.
Because like the opening the clam one, I can imagine that one just being like a complete torture to try to time that one without the stopwatch.
Yeah, and I guess the game doesn't punish you by making you go any slower while under it, so you might as well use it.
Right. It'll pretty much benefit you anyways.
Right.
So, unless you're just doing a physics abuse, that's about the only time you would really probably want to not use the time stop mechanic.
There is it is going to be used in the next boss fight, so you might see some slight optimizations there in how we use the stopwatch. I think Exilius, that you, when the missiles come flying at you on the next fight, that you don't stop time at all anymore.
Right. The whole gimmick of the missiles is that you're supposed to stop time and then dodge them. But you'll see that I actually kind of bait them off the edge and not use the time stop, so that way he moves on to his next attack even faster.
Interesting.
And this is also the boss fight that Bidu was talking about. This is one of the scariest ones to finish quickly, because as you can see, he's doing this fireball pattern attack. So the first one we're just going to dodge. But the next two, we're going to purposely lose one of our lives in order to skip that entire fireball phase and save us even more time. So by the time we get to the end of the fight, we're going to only have one hit left. So it turns into a game of either we're going to finish the fight or we're going to make the mistake and have to do the whole fight all over again. So this fight alone can eat up so much of your time if you make a mistake.
A lot of these bosses barf things out at you.
Yeah, they like to do that.
Nasty.
It's what gets you. You don't expect it. You don't expect something flying out
Don't
of
expect the barf, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If someone barfed at me, I'm like, this fight ain't worth it. Yeah, evil wins today.
Poison damage.
Right.
Speaking of...
I always...
Oh,
Go ahead.
Speaking of food, I guess, in a roundabout way, the film E.T. helped popularize what candy?
Mars bar.
No.
Dang.
Oh boy.
Milky Way.
Nope.
Hershey's.
It is a Hershey's product.
Is it really?
M&M's.
It is not.
Wait,
M&M's are...
That's still Mars.
It was... I think it was supposed to be
Is
M&M's.
it Reese's?
Specifically... Which?
Reese's peanut butter cups.
No.
Reese's Pieces.
It is the Reese's
Yes.
Pieces.
So what's the deal with Reese's versus Reese's? Where did that come from?
I don't know.
Surely some authority figure is responsible for Reese's.
Because, I mean, I think the person's name was just Reese. So
It's just Reese, and that's Reese's.
Yeah.
It's Reese's Pieces. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
But then so many people say Reese's.
I don't know.
It's most curious.
But yeah, I think the thing was Spielberg wanted M&M's, and then like Mars didn't let them use it, so they went with Reese's Pieces instead, which were at the time not very popular. And I think that was like the main, like after the movie came out, it was like, oh, okay, and now they're incredibly popular. So
I liked them a lot when I was a kid. Unfortunately, I'm an adult now, so I can't have candy. Or
I like them a lot
so.
now.
Oh, what? Wait. How'd you avoid that?
I don't know.
Okay, well, whatever.
I haven't hit that point yet. I guess. Give me,
Enjoy,
like,
I guess.
2 years, and then I'll stop existing.
Okay.
I feel like the whole debate between the Reese's pronunciation is the same as the debate for, do you say caramel or caramel?
Don't even get me started on that.
What's the
be
legal
here all
pronunciation versus the colloquial
Legal
one?
pronunciation.
I mean, there's so many foods specifically that have like different pronunciation. There's those. There's pecan, pecan.
Makes me wince just hearing it.
Me and a friend actually had a debate about which way it's pronounced. And so we asked Google. Google said caramel.
Caramel.
We were like, okay, well, we know one thing. It's that Google
We
was
can agree
wrong.
on one thing. It's not that.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that one meme of something translating mayonnaise. They pronounce it mayo nache or something
Oh,
like that.
that's right.
Absolutely.
Have y'all seen? It was when they added no Goku. into Fortnite, and he does his no Kamehameha. Have y'all seen the clip of the guy who pronounced? I can't even remember how he pronounced it. It was like Kamiyahama or something. It was so bad.
I want to see that. I feel like I've seen something akin to that. It might have been that clip.
Great.
It was really funny. Tell me your mama.
Or on the blob level. Well, I am at least.
Blob.
A blob.
Yes, we love the blob
Any
level.
blobs in chat? Say blob. I'm a blob if you're a blob. We need to congregate.
Chat, you are a blob.
If you were a blob, what kind of blob would you be?
I
The
would
blobbiest of
be-
blobs.
Good answer.
I'd be like if you put a Mike and Ike in the microwave for 30 seconds. That's what kind of blob I am.
I can't say I've done that, but I don't hate the idea. I don't like the idea, but I don't hate it.
I feel like that would just be like, it'd just be molten. It'd be too
Probably
hot.
would just melt.
It would just insulate all the heat, and it would just like burn your tongue.
Do Mike and Ike's melt, or do they blow up like marshmallows?
Yeah, but like, I think we have to find out now. Let's experiment
back.
next time.
We gotta
Probably
stop
just
everything we're doing and experiment right now.
Probably
Alright,
just end up
everyone.
finding out you create plasma.
I mean, if you microwave grapes, you get plasma, so maybe it's the same thing.
I did see that. That was really interesting. I was like, I don't even know how that works.
Yeah, I don't know. Science stuff is a little
Magic.
bit beyond me. It is magic, yeah. But you know what isn't magic? Science fiction.
trivia.
Yeah.
This one's debatably science fiction, but I put it in because it's a good question. The runtime of Jaws is about 2 hours and 10 minutes. How many of those minutes feature the main shark antagonist?
30 minutes.
It's not 30.
60.
It is not 60. It is much less than that.
18.
15 minutes.
Still less.
12.
Keep
10
going.
minutes.
6.
Keep going. You got there.
8 minutes.
5. 4.
It is
Far.
4.
4 minutes
like
out
it
of
was in
2
there so
hours
much
and 10
more.
minutes. I think it's in like 3 or 4 scenes only.
Because that was like the main like budget trick for the movie was to just like hype up the shark, but like barely actually show it.
Yeah, I think
that
there were
makes sense.
there are also mechanical issues like with the shark because I
true.
think like being in
Oh,
the water
yeah.
like messed it up.
Yeah, but then like the movie turned out better because the shark was in it less.
Yeah, so it ended up being like, oh yeah, well we could just have a lot of suspense. Apparently, going back to Alien, the xenomorph is only really in the movie for about 4 minutes as well. So, big monster movies and being in the film for 4 minutes. There you go. That's the secret.
That's the secret to older sci-fi films.
Yeah.
And this is what created false advertising. Well, I guess it wasn't false advertising. It's just
Misleading.
misleading. Yeah.
The original
Yeah.
clickbait.
Yeah, I don't really know if I would consider Jaws science fiction, but you know, it's in the same realm of films.
Yeah.
Look, biology is science, and sharks are biology. Therefore,
And then the shark in Jaws is made up, so he's
yeah, it's a fictional
fictionally
story.
scientific.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can say that about probably every single movie, but that's okay. It's like how every game is an RPG because you're playing a
Right,
role in
you're
the game.
playing a role in the
Like,
game.
I have always said this. Every game can be considered an RPG if you take it literally. So every film that isn't nonfiction is science fiction.
What about like Picross or like Sudoku or like something you can do in like a newspaper as a game? Right? Is that a role-playing game?
You are playing the role of a puzzle solver.
Okay, but
Yes.
well, okay, but all right. I'll get back to you on that.
Therefore, all right, I would say every video game is a role-playing game. Well, even so, if you're like playing basketball, you're playing the role of a basketball player.
True.
There you go.
True.
If you're playing chess, are you playing the role as the king?
You're playing the role of whatever piece you're moving that turn.
Honestly, chess LARPing sounds kind of tight. Do that sometime. I go forward as a pawn. I will fight for my king and queen. Next turn, bishop. I will do whatever a bishop does. Yeah.
I will move diagonally.
Fonzo, if you stand diagonal on me, you are about to have a bad day.
I cannot see you.
Don't stand in front of me. I don't know what to do.
I can't move, but I also can't do anything about this. This sucks. I need like 16 people to make an effective chess roleplay, so
That would be so cool.
gather your 15 closest friends in a really big chessboard. Have fun. Bring that to your next.
It's just people fighting over like being a cool piece and not just being a pawn.
Bring that to your next run fair.
Yeah. It's a lot going on in this level. Or at least spectacle-wise.
Yeah, so this stage is honestly one of the few stages I struggle with a lot. So we, oh gosh, okay. So we use the lamp to bring the genie up. And I don't really know why we did that, to be honest. We had absolutely no reason to bring the genie up. He didn't even have the ending stage platform. But anyways, we do. And so when he comes out, he brings out this big sandstorm. And all of the obstacles and objects and everything are just going all haywire, and we're just navigating through it. And we get to see the dog again. They want one of the favorite power-ups. And for the most part, I'll skip some sections of the level with it. Not very many, though. Mostly because we still need to collect some of these bots along the way. And right now I'm failing at it, but you can actually jump on top of this box and get this bot in an untraditional way. All right, that's not gonna happen, so I'm gonna take the other way.
Almost.
There we go. As much as I struggle at this stage, this is one of my few favorite stages in the game. Because not only do we get to go through this whole swirling mess, but we also get a little boss fight at the end that we get to do.
Yeah, and if you get hit once, you have to do it all over again.
That's probably one of the few things that makes this a struggle for me.
Yeah, in Nebula 5, you'll start seeing that these levels start ramping up in difficulty. They really test the player's ability to get through everything. And it just makes the speedrun strats all that much harder. So yeah, like he was saying, after you open the lamp up like this, everything starts turning around on 40 different axes or something like that, and it's just like you have to time everything precisely, and if you're a second slower, your whole strategy falls apart. So hopefully I don't fall off into the tornado.
I believe.
Yeah, I guess that's probably something we didn't really specify so much at the very beginning of the run, is that usually when you enter a stage, for the most part, you know, all the mechanics of the stage, everything is moving at the same time. Even whenever you go into those sub areas and grab a bot, usually the area you came from, even through those loading screens, the area you came from is still moving at the same speed it was. So like Bidu was saying, whenever you get off by a few seconds, it can change the pattern of certain jumps that you're probably used to making in later sections of the stage.
You won't always see those differences by just playing, but certainly by once you get a hold of the controller yourself and practice view, you'll start to understand exactly what we mean by some of that stuff.
Makes sense, yeah. I'll play it when they port this to PC, which will be never.
Oh, they might. They've been
They might.
porting everything recently for PlayStation, and I feel like
Would they still keep it like aggressively PlayStation though?
Yeah. that's the
Because I feel
thing.
like that'd be the main like this is a PlayStation game. Like it would be cool if it was ported, but like I don't know, maybe.
Well, we do have the Final Fantasy Remake series, God of War,
True.
and all that on PC. So there is a chance it could come
Spider-Man
to
2
PC.
is about
There's some
to get on
precedent.
PC, and it's less than a year old.
Right? Yeah. I forgot they're porting that one over as well.
All right, I'll keep my hopes
Yeah.
up then.
Yeah, especially because of Nixus. They've been helping with the porting side of things for the past 2 years now, so it's been much brighter recently. But yeah, hopefully, and the devs have noted that they are hoping that there would be a PC release, but it just also depends on audience response.
Right.
They said that they will if there is enough response for it.
Well, the
So,
official
fingers
stance here at
crossed.
Think Fast is they should do that.
Yes.
That's right. And what also you should also do at Think Fast is think fast, such as with a question such as, the Playroom was originally showcased on which late night talk show?
Late night with Jimmy Kimmel.
With whom?
By Jimmy Fallon.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
There you go. I believed in you.
He didn't
Right when
immediately
you said
say
it, I realized, like, wait,
You mean Jimmy Fallon? Yeah, you meant that one, right?
There's a lot of Jimmys out there. It's all good.
Jimmy.
I would have said Jimmy Neutron. So
Late Night with Jimmy Neutron.
that
This
one
was
would make sense.
this was back
Now that'd be something I'd watch.
this was back in 2013 on the eve of the PS4 release. They did some like AR stuff.
Really? All the way back then? Right. Okay. Interesting. I mean, I guess that would make sense for hyping up as it's getting released, but still.
You want to guess who the guest was?
Kenneth Young.
That would be very good, but no, I don't think they have any relation to the game.
Is
Oh, I
it?
just realized we're talking about it. All right.
It's got to be some high Sony exec, something like that.
No, not at all.
Okay, then.
It
Let's
was.
say
All right, give me your best answers. Who you think the best person
Jack
to...
Black.
Okay.
not a bad guess.
I would say completely wrong area. Maybe not completely. Pretty wrong area.
I don't remember him ever putting like content creators on there, but that's kind of the route my mind's going.
It was not a content creator. It was Ice-T.
Oh, I would not have guessed that ever.
I figured as much. Yeah, that it was the night before the PS4 came out. So they were on doing some like AR stuff, and they threw some robots around the room. So
Interesting.
yeah, way back,
Way back when.
11 years ago,
God, is PS4 11 years old now?
apparently. Wanna feel old? Yeah, November 15th, 2013.
When I feel old, the Wii phone came out 12 years ago.
Did it? Wii Phone Video is 2008.
I just said a random number.
I've made a blunder. So what's tricky about this little end stage here is that you have to, in order to avoid this ice power, you kind of have to go off at the precise angle and then just like hover in the air before you like climb back up. I did not do that. And I rose up into the air too quickly, but I did it correctly there. It only saves like 4 seconds or something from you having to go around the intended way, but hey, we like those 4 seconds.
Of course.
Seconds are to be enjoyed.
I need all the seconds.
Yes.
I'm nothing without them.
We have more seconds to give, so
Ooh, this is true.
we might as well. Let's do this one. This one should be quick. How many official numbered doctors have there been in the TV series Doctor Who?
13.
It's not 13.
12.
Let's say 11.
Nope.
14?
15.
There is 15. There have been
Oh
14
my
different
God.
actors, but 15 numbered actual doctors.
It's a shame. I was so close.
Not gonna lie, I was pretty much guessing. I just knew the answer was definitely a lot.
More than 10.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember it was like the 13th or 14th one like 5 years ago.
Let me look at the timeline. Because the 15th one started this year.
Okay.
The 14th one was for about 3 episodes. Yeah, the 13th one started in 2018, ended in 2022. So, yeah. And there were a couple others that are like not numbered, but that's extra lore. Speaking of none of that, what robot-based game was featured on ThinkFast about 1 year ago on November 30th, 2023?
Mega Man.
No.
Dang.
Robot game?
Robot game.
Robots the game.
I wish.
That would be
That would be banger episode.
I was just hoping that was the answer. I was like, oh, that'd be really ironic for an answer.
How long is the speedrun for robots?
I'm interested
One
too.
active player. It's 1 hour long. Write that down.
Thinking, surely isn't this, but it's like Mario versus Donkey Kong.
No.
There
Yeah,
is. It is a GameCube game.
Like robots.
Technically, the runners played on the Wii, but that's just because it was re-released. And it is part of a series.
Oh. Hey, only
I feel like I should know this, but at the same time, I'm blanking on answers. It's a GameCube game. I mean, I can
Right,
just start
the-
shouting out GameCube games that aren't correct.
the only one I can think of that also went to the Wii is, Twilight Princess. But that's clearly not the answer.
No.
It'd be so cool if it had robots.
This game was also featured at SGDQ 2024 in a bingo.
A bingo.
I think the only bingo of the event.
Is it part of a? Not part of a popular series. It's its own series.
Yeah, it's its own
Right,
series,
yeah.
but the first game is by far the most well-known one. The other games aren't nearly as...
It kind of fell off.
Yeah.
And yeah, the protagonist and the player you control is a robot, a very small robot.
Is it made by Nintendo?
Is it Chibi? What is it? Chibi Robi? Chibi Robi?
It's Chibi Robo. I'll give you it. You have the right idea.
Robo.
Chibi Robi.
Okay.
Chibi Robo. Run by both Jaxler and Cabasco. And if you want to look at more robot trivia, go check out that VOD on YouTube. We have a lot more robot questions. I don't remember what the theme was, but I assume it was robots. It may be like cleaning. I don't know.
I've never played those games, but they always looked kind of fun.
Yeah. I think
Very chill.
the original GameCube release of it was, I wouldn't say unpopular, but it didn't sell that well. So it's like one of the more expensive GameCube games just because of its like rarity.
Yeah, it took a while to really get a cult following.
Right. And then it's had a couple sequels that have not been that good.
No, you can watch a Scott the Woz video on it.
Sure.
He goes into pretty good detail about it.
And I think there was like a Japan exclusive game that was very good. And people are upset that it never came to the US.
Yeah, so on this boss fight as well, we're going to be doing the damage strat so that way we can skip some of the mechanics of the boss fight. Just like the Mecha Leon, we're basically going to get down to one last hit left. I would say this fight is less dangerous than the Mecha Leon when we get down to the last hit, but it still is a huge time detriment if you lose that last life. And we get to use the tea kettle power up that Vito was mentioning earlier that we completely skipped in the hieroglyph pyramid level.
So at least we get to still see it.
Love it. It's just the sandbird from Super Mario Sunshine.
Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
There are definitely a lot of parallels between this game and Sunshine I've seen. Just
Yeah,
like
it feels like that
the
we're
hover.
definitely trying to hit a mark of the 3D Mario games.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it looks like they've done well. I would rather
Yeah,
play this
they-
game than Sunshine, so. I am unfortunately I am a hater of Sunshine in that I don't enjoy playing it, but I love watching it. Like I
I
think
played it myself, but I haven't gotten
Yeah.
a chance to my entire life. I mean, I did. I could have gotten All Stars, but I was like, nah, I mean, like, nah. That was impossible. It's a phantom game now.
Yeah, I'm the complete opposite. Sunshine is one of I think it's my favorite. Yeah, I went back to play it after Galaxy because I missed out on the GameCube version of it, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. Speedruns are sick for Sunshine.
yeah, I'm a big fan of watching speedruns of it.
Yeah, I never could get quite comfortable with the flood controls for Sunshine, but watching people use the flood in speedruns is absolutely insane.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a cool game, like at like a very high level. If you're like really good at it, I'm sure it's fun, but I did not really enjoy it casually, and I'm also bad at it.
Mad 'cause bad. Mad 'cause bad.
True. So true.
I think the most of the general opinion of it is that it's bad though too, so that's what I always hear from people.
Several people are typing.
Oh no. Yeah, I think I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's definitely, I think it's generally agreed that it's one of like the weaker titles
Yeah.
compared to stuff like Galaxy or Galaxy 2 or Odyssey even, but they're all good in their own way. Now, if you want to talk about bad Mario games, Mario's Time Machine. Terrible. That's
Terrible
another
does not
story.
have robots in it. I mean, just
True.
a pass from me.
But that's another story. It's got time travel, which is science fiction, so it is kind of relevant. I swear.
True.
Speaking of science fiction, what series features the aliens known as Tribbles?
Trebles.
No.
Trebles the movie.
Gremlins.
No.
Sounds like a gremlin type.
It
or
definitely
something.
does. Yeah.
I didn't think it was right, but I was going for it.
Well, it's definitely not one I know instantly off the table.
Right.
It's definitely a series you know of, but yeah.
Star Wars.
No.
Star Trek.
It is.
What?
What?
Yep. They're basically just balls of fur. Like, I need to look up how they were made. I think they were just like wigs. Like literally.
Just
Like,
wigs on the ground.
it kind of looks like it. Let me.
Those wigs.
Is there anything on this on how they were made? Yeah, they just look like they're just balls of fur. Yeah, I don't know, but
It's so funny, humorous. They were just wigs. Wigs laying around. So this next part right here, this T-Rex is supposed to come back out and attack us, but if you get this just right, not like that. Okay, well, you can grab the edge of the bridge, kind of like we did the hieroglyph stage, and you can actually skip this whole sequence that I'm going through right here.
To the goo.
as you do.
Oh boy.
And right there, you're supposed to go all the way to the end and shoot the canister to get the PS5 cover, but if you just stand up on that leg, you can get a long range shot. And there is also kind of the idea is to clean this whole cover, but there is a possibility you can get what's called a fast clean, where you just hit certain parts of it and it gives you the entire fast clean early. I've never personally gotten it myself, but I've seen other people do it,
I'm
and I
decently consistent at it.
Cleaning, kind of like Chibi Robo that we had in Think Fast about a year ago.
Oh.
Full circle.
Might have to check out the VODs to really get a good idea of that whole Chibi Robo experience.
True, true. After you watch this run, of course.
Of course, I mean, yeah.
How are we looking on the run, by the way?
We're nearing within 10 minutes, probably.
Nice.
About 10 minutes-ish.
Whoa, it's a PS5.
who knew that's what we were building all along?
You're telling me you're playing this on a PS5 right now? That's wild. Yeah, if they port it to PC, they'll just have you building a PC.
I actually seen a game on Steam that was very similar to that as far as like doing the more programming side of building a PC. I don't remember what it was called, but I remember someone was showing me.
I know there's
was like,
PC
oh.
building simulator, but that's just putting parts together to build a PC.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't that one specifically.
Right.
Like I said, this was just the programming
Yeah.
kind of side of it. Had a lot of logic gates was the main feature of it.
Rough.
Clean, 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 clean.
Such fast cleaning.
Thank you. So I'm gonna try and skip this here. And it did not skip for me. Oops. Yeah, I don't know why it sometimes skips, but if you like destroy those glob monsters extremely fast, it sometimes just skips for you. And just like it's like you're done, clean's done, even though you have a big paint splob still on the front of it.
I'm keeping this as a painted shell.
Yeah, it's still got 70% melted crayon on it. It's like, no, that's fine.
Have there been like alternate designs for PS5s? No, there's that one. There's the Spider-Man PS5, right? I don't know. There's that.
Yeah, they don't necessarily have. I would say so much like the design of the PS5, but you can take the covers off and just
Oh.
swap out the covers to give it a different look.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
had
just
no
put
idea.
out the 30th anniversary like shell. That kind of looks like an original PlayStation. It's at least gray.
Yeah, I was really debating on getting that.
It looks good.
It does look really good. I was tempted as well. I didn't know if they were selling the panels separately, or if it was just, I know that they were selling a whole new console and the controller with that theme, but
Yeah,
sure.
I know the main feature is you're supposed to be able to swap out the panels on it, but I'm not sure if they have those yet. I want to say they do, but I'm not for certain on that either, though.
All right, while we're getting closer to the end of the game, let's get some more questions in.
okay.
What is the primary occupation seen in the novel Fahrenheit 451?
Oh, it's the
Firefighter.
Firefighter.
Yep, it is fireman. Celia's barely got that
Celia's got
first.
that one first.
Yeah.
Yep. Well done.
But it's ironic because they're making fires. Get it?
Oh.
It's a
Yeah.
dystopia. I think I read that for school in like 9th grade or something.
Really?
Yeah.
I never heard of this book.
I read it for school in my junior year, I think.
TLDR, firefighters burn books. Protagonist firefighter keeps a book, but he shouldn't have it. Other stuff ensues. There you go.
Shenanigans.
There you go. There's enough info for your book report.
Okay, thanks.
Just one page titled Shenanigans.
A+.
Yeah, I guess specifically it is firemen instead of firefighter because they are the firemen. But effectively in terms of reader comprehension.
We are on the last level here, which is mainly an auto-scroller for the most part. There's a few little things that we can do here and there to kill a few enemies faster, specifically the ones that come down on the PlayStation consoles. You can shoot them ahead of time and save a couple seconds here and there, but for the most part, it's fairly consistent. What's interesting though is the boss fight when we go, when we get to it, which the boss fight is going to contain a wheel that we have to spin. That's going to give us a random power up that we've acquired and played with throughout the game, pretty much. Like, what are the options? It's the doggy jetpack. It's the froggy gloves.
We get Magnet and
The Magnet.
Monkey, which I don't think we haven't even done Magnet at all in this playthrough.
Yeah, you're right.
I just realized that. So yeah, we have those, and then we have the Octo Balloon we saw in the very first stage.
Nobody ever wants to get the balloon. The balloon is major time loss. When I say
Yeah.
major, it's maybe like 20 seconds.
So now that you've
That's
spoken
pretty
it
bad,
into
yeah.
existence,
Yes, we
we
have jinxed
go.
ourselves.
GDQ effect.
Think Fast Syndrome.
look, we produce
then
only the
if,
most quality runs.
So for the most part, for the wheel, we're just going to be trying to time it as soon as we, for the first two at least, we're just going to spam the button and we'll mainly reliably get some ability. Usually the dog jetpack or the magnet is what we'll usually get when you spam it. But for the last one, you actually have to time it pretty well. Because if you spam it on the last one, it'll just do the one that's like the skull or whatever that gives you more enemies, and if you get the skull, that's like an extra 30 seconds time loss. But it's also interesting because you have to time it one ahead, like one slot ahead of what you actually land on, because it's consistent that the bully will
Dog, let's go!
will flick it like one position next to try to trick you, which you'll see here in a second on phase 3.
I think probably my favorite thing about this boss fight is that we're playing Astro Bot on a PS5 on a PS5.
I love all the other little cameos of the other consoles.
Yeah,
I saw some
Yeah.
PlayStation Move
Yes.
peripherals earlier.
Right, we get the nostalgic PlayStation 2 sound. That will probably forever be implanted into my brain.
Again, if you forgot what console you were playing on,
Right.
I understood that.
this is a PlayStation game. And yes, you are also playing on a
Like
console.
on. Yes. Swoosh from Think Fast, everybody.
Thanks.
Just gotta give it up.
Hey, speaking of Think Fast,
Oh.
which city's science center is home to the Robot Hall of Fame?
Tokyo.
No, it is in
Oh.
America.
New York.
It's in the eastern half of the country.
LA.
That is not in the eastern
That's
half of the country.
Sorry. I confuse my easterns and westerns sometimes. It is in Eastern. Washington, D.C.
Or Orlando.
It's a very relevant city for purposes of GDQ.
Philadelphia.
Wrong one.
Chicago.
Oh, Minnesota? It's, focusing. Minneapolis?
It's not Minneapolis. It's the other one.
The other one is, shoot.
Philadelphia was the closest so far.
Yeah.
Memphis?
Nashville.
Didn't we already say that?
I visited this. I visited the Robot Hall of Fame last January, or I guess this January, 2024, when I was at another event.
Is that supposed to be a hint?
It is.
Huh.
Okay, and that should be time.
Oh.
Nice. I'll wrap this question up, and then I guess maybe do one more while we're all finishing up. But
I'm still drawing a blank.
you can also
Yeah,
visit. You can visit this as well if you go to AGDQ.
Yeah, this was the.
New Hampshire.
1, 2, 3.
No, wait.
4.
It's in PA.
It is in Pennsylvania.
We've established that.
Okay.
I can't think at all right now. Hold on. Keep waiting.
I can think, and I'm still struggling.
What's something they have a football team.
Yeah, I guess. I believe. Maybe
Yeah,
we gotta
I can
read
think
our
more now.
announcements again.
Okay, so PA. Other cities are in that state.
Some I clearly don't know.
It's just Philadelphia, right?
It is not
You
Philadelphia.
would think.
If you were to visit AGDQ, where would you be?
It also starts with a P.
It's time for me. Oh shoot, man, we still have this question.
If you don't answer quickly, the question's gonna be
I
the winner
might
of
just
this
have to
thing
call
fast.
it, yeah.
I don't think I have an idea. I don't know.
I don't think I do either.
It's
I-
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Oh my god.
Woohoo! AGDQ 2025 will be hosted at Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Pittsburgh,
January 5th,
Philadelphia.
January 12th.
Yeah, it's in the Carnegie Mellon Science Center, which is walkable from the venue, so you can visit if you're at AGDQ 2025. All right. With that, with finishing, I have your final trivia adjusted times. In second place with a time of 2:15:21 is B-Dud. And in first place with a time of 2:13:51, so only a minute and a half apart, is Exelius. So congratulations on
job, everybody.
the win today.
GG's.
Would you like to shout out anyone? This is your time to do so.
Shout out the Astro Bot community in general. Just everyone in the Discord and that's been finding strats over the last 3 months. Everyone that's been doing runs, whether you've been doing 80%, 100% ILs, doing the speedrun DLC levels. There's been so much activity over the last 3 months, and it's been a pleasure being a part of it. So everyone that's been a part of the journey, thank you. Thank you to the community.
Yeah, definitely. The community has put in so much work into finding so many strats and making this game, just speedrunning it as enjoyable as possible. And yeah, and they're still going at it every single day. So just a huge shout out to them.
I think, I think that's about all that we have. If you want to check out runs, we got 80% going on that we just showed off, but we also have 100% and of course the DLC levels, which has been a lot of hype in the past month and a half. They just finished up handing out all 5 of the DLC levels that they release on a weekly basis. So that's now done and over, and there might be potential new categories coming up sometime in the future. We don't know, but maybe.
Very exciting. All right, awesome. And also, hey, if any of you missed the show or wanted to get your rerun, we are also replaying Game Over and Think Fast after the break that will be taking place after this Think Fast episode, and we'll be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern with Awfully Silly and Express Lane, but don't go anywhere yet. There's more announcements to be had. Lots of stuff to tell you. So what we got first up, GDQ's next all-woman and femme speedrunning event, Frost Fatales 2025, will be live from March 9th through March 16th. Visit gamesdonquick.com/framefatales for more information on the event. And also join the official GDQ Discord and add the Hotfix role, where you can keep tabs on upcoming events, talk with staff, and more. Use !Discord and Twitch chat for more info. And of course your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, odd bits, all the stuff having to do with money on twitch.tv. cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel, help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. If you enjoy watching speedruns, consider subscribing to the channel to get access to our emotes and chat with other subscribers during our replays. And of course, you can go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix to check out our Season 4 schedule and check out schedule for an in-depth look at this week's runs, including stuff like Awfully Silly and Express Lane, taking place tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it. And last but not least, if you missed out on any of our shows or events, be sure to check out the VODs on our YouTube channel over at youtube.com/gamesdonequick. And those are all for the announcements.
Oh, thanks for those announcements. Yeah, that's it for us. Hang out for the replay if interested. Don't forget to think. Goodbye.
Fast. We were supposed to do that in sync, but you didn't do it.